Welcome to Packaging Strategies, and we are always on the lookout for new and innovative products, especially ones designed to make life a little easier for consumers. Today we're chatting with Jay Baker, CEO of Jamestown Plastics and inventor of Clamtainer. Jay, thanks for joining me today.
Oh, well, thanks for having me. This is going to be a lot of fun.
So, what exactly is Clamtainer?
Well, Clamtainer is an innovation in the traditional clamshell packaging world that really is a game changer. It takes all the things that the consumer especially despises about traditional clamshell packaging, getting out the chainsaw to get into it, or bursts open in a berry explosion when you drop your blueberries on the floor, and completely changes that dynamic. Uh, in its essence, we took and developed a process that works 190 degrees from the typical processing in our industry, which is virtually all vertical up and down. And we added patented innovations where we still have the vertical up and down, but in the manufacturing process, we've introduced uh, horizontal to the same process, the same time. And so in the essence, what we have here is, I'll try to get this so you can see. You see one end over here, you'll see a little hole I'm trying to point out right there. And then over here, you'll see a pin right there. And this is like the deadbolt on your door at your house that you slide into position. When it closes, it's closed. And I did it just that easily. I can also open it one-handed just that easily. When it's closed, it's closed. You can't get it apart. The reason for that is that all other clamshell packaging uses, if it's a container that's supposed to be able to be opened and reclosed, it relies upon the coefficient of friction to do the closing feature. It's a snap lock button, it's a perimeter rim, takes as much force to close it as it does to open it. And that's why when you get the blueberry explosion, when you drop the blueberries on the floors, they're exploding past that force, that friction, and woof, they go everywhere. Clamtainer, the real innovation here is that we have introduced for the first time in the history of plastics packaging of this nature, the concept of shear strength. It's the same way that the bolts hold the bridge up, right? In order for the bridge to fail, the bolt has to shear. Well, this is our bolt. And in order for that to give up, either the bolt, in this case our pin, or its receiver has to fail. So we get incredible closing strength and incredible ease of opening because I'm releasing the bolt from its receiver when I depress here. That's the essence of the invention. We've got 101,000 variations on a theme, but its applications are endless, the markets that we're in.
So, you mentioned like a bolt on a bridge. What was the inspiration for the design? What caused you to decide, hey, this is what we need to do. This is how it should look. This is what we're gonna move forward with.
Uh, we were given the opportunity to design a new line of clamshell packaging for a very large windshield wiper manufacturer. And they wanted to try something out of the box new. And their wish list eliminated all conventional means here too of keeping a clamshell closed, whether it be the dreaded RF sealing, which makes it a hermetically sealed package, and it's try not to lose a finger when you're cutting into it, to no snap locks, no rim locks, no oversleeve, and the biggest challenge was this challenge, and anybody in your audience that plays in the world of retail packaging will appreciate this, is they wanted a package which could be restockable at retail if returned. So everybody's probably into a Napa store and you see a barrel back there and it's got all sorts of stuff in it. Well, that's where an idiot like me goes in and I buy the wrong thing. I go out to my car, I trip, oh, I got the wrong one. I walk back in, hand it to the counter guy, and he goes, okay, Jay, let's figure out what you should have asked me the first time around before we went through this, and gives me the right thing. Well, that package that I got into is now not restockable. I've done something to destroy it. And that goes back to the supply chain, typically back to the producer of the product, because in their contracts, typically they get stuck with dealing with that mess. It's a loss leader. It's a royal pain in the tuchus. Clamtainer's different. At retail, the consumer can open it. It's the wrong thing. It can be closed back up and sold, and no harm, no foul. So in amongst many of its features, that's one of its real attributes, is it's intended to be reusable. And we like to say, you know, the smartest, most green container is the one that never does get thrown away. So we have consumers buying product X, and they use up product X, and they're still using their Clamtainer. The product X came in because they're putting rubber bands in there, or they're putting crafting supplies in it. They love them. They love them. We get love letters all the time. These are the greatest things ever. And that's a lot of fun. We've got a great following, a great bunch of customers out there. And hearing different ways people do stuff is also fun. Crazy things they're doing with them.
So you mentioned blueberries and windshield wipers and being reused is for rubber bands. What can be packaged using Clamtainer?
I flip that question on its head and say I've yet to see something that can't be packaged in Clamtainer. And that sounds a little bit pompous, but right now we are shipping people Clamtainers which hold ammunition. It's a container called Ammo Buddy, which is anybody that does any shooting or any hunting or reloading. You got to look up that on our website. We are shipping child resistant certified cannabis Clamtainers for everything from cupcakes to candy bars to lots of other edibles. We have Clamtainers holding nuts, bolts, and screws, Clamtainers holding fishing lures into the produce market. So right now, the only thing that the Clamtainer is not designed for, but we're kind of working on, is liquids. It's not really designed right now for liquids, but that might be coming in the future for us with some technology that we're working on. Other than that, I like to say everything comes to you in something, right? And nowadays, a lot of stuff comes in an Amazon box, but inside that Amazon box, there's a lot of other things. This is a reusable container that, if frankly, our company's 62 years of age, if I'd invented this 30 years ago, I think it would be simply what the consumer would expect, and they wouldn't put up with a lot of the other stuff that they have to deal with. We're talking with some very major, and we have a number of major consumer known brands in our stable now, and with more coming.
So you mentioned reusability, the sustainable aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
How else can consumers benefit by using Clamtainer?
One of the real benefits within the consumer's environment is the ease of opening and the security of the reclose. Our Clamtainer is the easiest to close clamshell ever invented, because the basic act of closing, all you do, and it's closed. So I got to tell you, one of the things, if you were in any one of my factories right now, down in front of the machinery that manufactures this, one of the things that told me that we had a winner was we've been making thermoform clamshells, like I say, for 60 years. You will see at the machines where we have nuts and bolts and pieces in this, my employees just started using these things, and that's all they use. So each one is like its own little toolbox, and you can see what you got. It protects the product. They're just so simple to use. And that's where I think the consumers really appreciate this. For example, if you buy batteries in a Clamtainer, you open it, you take out what you need, you close it, you're good to go. You can literally throw this into your, we have our website videos of these things getting thrown off my roof, 2 stories on the parking lot, bouncing 3 feet, not opening up, and I can go over and open up with one hand. So it takes the frustration out of this type of packaging. And the reason we call it Clamtainer is because that's what it is. It's a container that's made using the clamshell process with some really innovative technology. And our goal was to eliminate a lot of the headache for both the consumer as well as the producer.
Mhm.
From the production side, every single account on our commercial side that are using these say it's by far and away the most efficient packaging operation they've ever had. Literally increases of 300 to 400% in line efficiencies, because no matter what you do in our industry, it starts with this. We stop at that. So you don't need equipment, you don't need tooling, you don't need a whole assembly process. The first step is your last step, which also means you can also outsource very easily if you're using Clamtainer. I mean, literally you could have your employees packing things at night while they're watching Seinfeld and giving them 10 cents a piece and bring them back in the morning. On the windshield wiper packaging line, it was the most efficient product they've ever run. And to watch the assembly line folks, they're not even looking at the product they're packaging. They were grabbing a windshield wiper blade, a parts bag, a Clamtainer, and talking like you and I are. They just close it. And the other thing is, it is the only packaging that has an audible go, no go. That's close. If I didn't hear that, something didn't go right. But if I hear that, I don't have to look. I know I'm good to go. So this is another it's a just great kind of really make you feel good application, is we have many sheltered workshops, people with disabilities, people that may have visual impairment or some other impairments, and they're in pack out operations. Rave reviews. Because I could have my eyes closed and be doing this like this, and I'm good to go. I never have to look. So it's been a lot of fun. It's a wild ride, and it's just getting crazier every day.
It's funny you used batteries as the analogy or something that you've been using, because I actually have a clamshell container with batteries that the lid constantly pops open on that one. And I also have something for that I use, another clamshell for compost, peels, rinds, that again, but I get all sorts of gnats and whatnot floating in there. I mean, it's just the top constantly pops right on open.
Yep.
So where can those interested to learn more about
Mhm.
Clamtainer, where can they go to find out more information?
We have 2 websites that are linked together. Clamtainer.com is more focused on our B2C efforts, because we sell these stock. It's a clamshell that we sell as a container with nothing in it. People are buying them like crazy, taking things out of the crappy packaging that they got their stuff in, and putting it into ours, which is really interesting. And then clamtainerpackaging.com is more of our B2B. But if you go to one, you can go to the other. They're linked together by some smart folk, smarter than me, and they're both fun websites. There's a fun video on there, a little commercial type thing I shot that was a lot of fun, and you can learn a whole lot more there about the product and all the various things you can do with it. Literally, you dream it up, you can put it in there.
Fantastic. No, it's a great product, Jay, and thank you for taking the time to share more about it.
It's been a lot of fun, and I knew it would be.
As Jay said, you can learn more about Clamtainer at clamtainerpackaging.com. And for more features like this and for news and products, visit packagingstrategies.com.